All right. This is one of my favorite videos. You see this? President Trump looking a little uncomfortable after getting, well, a man hug from India's prime minister. What's not to love about that? Anyway, American workers might not feel totally comfortable with this one because one of India's largest companies, outsourcing firm InFosys, is now being sued for racial bias that favors Indian nationals with work visas over white and African-American workers. Fox News correspondent Mike Tobin has been digging into this lawsuit and has some interesting developments to share with us. Hey, Mike, what's going on here?
Well, you know, the hook here, Neil, is that this lawsuit is coming from the guy who helped to streamline or bring into compliance the H-1B visa program for InFosys. And he now alleges that non-South Asians at that company face discrimination. That lawsuit was filed in East Texas by Aaron Green. He was the former head of global immigration for InFosys. And he claims that while 1% of the U.S. workforce is South Asian, upwards of 93% of the InFosys workforce is South Asian, primarily Indian. The plaintiff in this case was fired. The official reason was that he did personal tasks on his work computer. But the suit claims he was terminated because the defendant's obsessional preference for employees of the South Asian race, usually Indian. In short, the suit claims Indians take care of their own.
There's a caste system within the company. Even amongst the Indians, there's a caste system. And you know, they'll tell you that, but further to that, along the line of that corporate mentality, it breeds into the U.S. where we were, and, you know, we're kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
Now, yesterday, President Trump met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister said the meeting was filled with friendliness and, of course, that big bear hug. The president says India has a friend in the White House, but that's kind of a contrast to the president's Buy American, Hire American executive order signed back in April. That executive order, among other things, cracks down on the use of H-1B visas. That issue primarily spotlights 3 or 4 companies, all of them Indian. One of them is InFosys. Now, following that executive order, InFosys responded with a promise to create some 10,000 jobs in the U.S. with a hub staffed by 2,000 employees in Indianapolis. In exchange for choosing Indiana for its hub, InFosys is reportedly now in line for the largest incentive program in the history of the Hoosier State. But there's at least one other lawsuit, this one out of Wisconsin, a class action suit alleging basically the same things, that there's a pervasive and ongoing national origin and race discrimination by InFosys. Spokespeople for InFosys did not respond to requests for comments. Neil?
You know, it comes at a time, too, Mike, you're mentioning the Indian leader in town. A lot of U.S. technology companies want to start granting more H-1B visas. Indian workers would be the beneficiary of that. So it puts the administration in a bit of a box, you know?
It does put them in a tough situation. There's a lot of allegations about the H-1B visa usage. Now, there's a professor, Norman Matloff, out of UC Davis, who says that Indian companies are unfairly pinpointed. He says all the technology companies are exploiting H-1B visas to the hilt. And what's interesting about them is you sponsor someone for that visa if you're the company. And therefore, he can't compete in the marketplace. You essentially own him. If he wants to jump ship and go to another company for more money, and he's got to go all the way back to India.
All right, Mike Tobin, a great reporting, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.